Okay. So growing up, he didn't have any interest in politics at all. He excelled in school. He got I'm trying to say this with a straight face. He got a PhD in traffic. I don't know about you, but I was up for that. I really wanted to be a doctor of traffic, but I failed the whole stoplight thing. So maybe that's just me. So he gets his doctorate in traffic at Trans University of Science and Technology, where he was a lecturer on traffic. Now that had to be good. That had to be really good. Okay. So a doctor of traffic right to the president of Iran. I know it sounds crazy, but it's almost like saying community organizer, president of America. So how does this happen? Well, in college, apparently he becomes politically active, and he secretly published and distributed a anti-Shah propaganda magazine. He's against the Shah of Iran. Now, what he did between 1979 and 2003 is a little unclear. We're probably working on stoplights, but there are several American hostages from the Iranian hostage crisis who believe that he was absolutely positively one of the students who took them hostage. If you had to study traffic patterns, you'd be taking people as hostage as well, I think. Some people believe that he may have later become a low-ranking member of the Revolutionary Guard. Others believe he was a member of the feared militia over there. What is known for sure is that Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is virtually unknown until 2003, when all of a sudden he's appointed the mayor of Tehran. One of his campaign promises? Come on. He's going to fix the traffic, of course. Hello? He's a doctor of traffic. So he takes over the position of mayor, and he begins, undoing all the reforms done by the previous moderate traffic politicians. And that's why they think he ascended to the heights that he has attained. The mullahs found somebody who would just do their bidding. He was, again, even when he ran for president, he was virtually unknown. He imposed all kinds of new cultural restrictions favored by the mullahs. That's the religious leadership. He doesn't like Western fast food restaurants. But then again, neither does Michelle Obama. So doesn't like billboards with Western references. He said we need the genders to be segregated in elevators. You just don't want to be on an elevator with somebody of the opposite sex. You never know what will happen. He actually called elevators sin capsules. Yeah, it's exactly. So anyway, he turned a lot of the cultural centers into prayer halls during Ramadan. He ordered all male city employees to have beards and wear long sleeves. I'm just hedging my bet here. That's all I'm doing. But one thing he didn't do is he didn't ban salt in the city. That would be Mayor Bloomberg, in case you get them confused. Now, the ruling mullahs were impressed with his crackdowns of the reforms. They were gaining traction, and everybody's like, hey, I love this religious nut job. And so they gave him the full support when he ran for president in 2005. Unlike his opponent, former Iranian president, Ahmadinejad spoke out against improving relations with the United States, promising to tackle poverty and end corruption, and as a result, he won election by a landslide. Since then, he has done his best little, Hitler imitation, telling Israel, quote, do not assume you will be boosted with a UN recognition of the Palestinian state. There is no room for you in the region. And the Zionists think that they are victims of Hitler, but they act like Hitler and behave worse than Genghis Khan. Has anybody ever read about Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan, don't ask me why, but I did some research on Genghis Khan. I don't have a happy life. I really. That guy was really bad. Made Hitler look like really look like a mental midget, which he was, strangely, but that's a different story. He's a pretty evil guy, and then moves on into the realm of Charlie Sheen because he joins the ranks of the 9/11 truthers, saying no Zionists were killed in the World Trade Center because one day earlier they were told not to go to their workplace. I didn't know that. Mainly, I didn't know that because the fact is, based on the information from the New York Times and the medical examiner's office, which is right by the traffic department, at least 400 victims were confirmed to be or strongly believed to be Jewish. That's close to 15% of the victims. That's a higher percentage than the general population. So I guess you'd be wrong on that one. He also said they announced that 3,000 people were killed by this incident, but there were no reports that revealed their names. So maybe you saw that, maybe I didn't. Clearly the U.S. should just give in to his demands to, quote,
اگر جعبه سیاه هولوکاست و 11 سپتامبر گشوده شود خیلی از حقایق روشن خواهد شد.
So we should open up the black boxes because a lot would be found there. Okay. He's never seen any of the memorials that we've had, apparently, where every name has been read. National, international television, we go through all the names. During his speech at the UN last year, members of the U.S. delegation walked out after he said, quote, there is the view that some segments within the U.S. government orchestrated the attack to reverse the declining American economy and its grip on Middle East in order to save the Zionist regime. It must be great to be a truther because you're in bed with this guy. Ahmadinejad had brought this to the forefront since rising to power, the legend also of the 12th Imam, who fell down, come on, a well 800 years ago, of course. We remember, of course, 800 years ago, the 12th Imam falls down a well, and he's trapped. He's like, help, help. And then he hears, rah, 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 and he's like, Lassie, is that you? I think that's the way the 12th Imam happened, but I'm not really sure. But soon, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is predicting that the 12th Imam is going to climb out of the well and take over ruling the planet. It took him 800 years to get out of a well, but apparently we should listen to him because, well, he's got some experience. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, not kidding you, building roads from the well. So, but he's good at the traffic pattern. So when the 12th Imam comes, we'll know that all the lights will be green. He is a guy who thinks that we can all be happy with the 12th Imam. We can all be friends with the 12th Imam. All we have to do is convert to Islam. For those who refuse, his return may not be so peaceful and loving, but he's excited about it. In 2009, after alienating nearly every thinking, feeling human being, including most Iranians, Ahmadinejad entered his re-election bid. He trailed up to 20 points in the Iranian polls. Yet, somehow or another, it might have been the guy trapped in the well, he pulled off a miracle. 20 points. The election, the reformists say, was rigged. No, I don't think so. That sparked a revolt that was violently crushed. Remember these people? Remember these people? And what did our president do? Nothing. It might have been the members-only jacket that he was like, if I could just get my hands on that members-only jacket, I could be just like him. During the uprising, no encouragement for the Persian Spring. No glowing admiration for the youth fighting oppression. Not a word from this president. Maybe he was worried about the headwinds that a Persian Spring may blow into our economy, but I'm not really sure. But these people were left alone. It's kind of like what he's doing now, what our president is doing now with Syria. Nothing. So there you are. You're left with President Obama, who we find out his first phone call goes to the president of the Palestinian Authority, and Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, headed now to our shores. It's time to end the nightmare of the UN, and the mantra of America should be the U.S. out of the UN and the UN out of the U.S.
GBTV. The truth lives here.